here at Violin Outside the Box with Dr. K. A short video about the necessity to move your arm around a little bit, in and out, pivot your arm, depending on what string you are playing on. So when you hold the instrument, your fingers, depending on how you're holding it here, might be kind of hovering on one or the other string. You know, if your arm is a little bit more in, then you will find your fingers positioned above maybe one of the lower strings, D or G. Yeah. And if your arm is a little bit this way, a little bit out, they might be just above the A or E strings. The necessity to pivot your arm in and out comes from the fact that the most comfortable position to play on the string is when fingers are actually directly above the string. Sometimes intonation suffers when the arm doesn't move at all. Yes, sometimes there is a little bit tension. Why? Well, intonation, primarily because if you drop your fingers on the string in more natural position, just drop it like that, you will see that they go on the strings a little bit more in diagonal. Of course, depending on how parallel you're holding your hand to the neck, they might be a little more or less, I guess, diagonal, but there is a little bit of diagonal anyway, which means that if you play a specific finger, let's say I'm playing a third finger on E, yeah, and then without changing that feeling of dropping that finger, if I just drop it on G, I'll most likely end up in much higher, about a half a step higher in general than I was on E. So on E, I'm playing basically in A, and on G, it ends up being a C sharp. Yeah, and this is because, again, the finger naturally goes in diagonal. So there's a little bit of necessity to move the arm in and out, of course. And then, of course, if you don't move it at all, and if you're holding it at a position where you are where your fingers are above the E string, but you're trying to play on G, then you are asking for tension here, because in order to push the string down, you need the strength of your individual finger. And if you are extending the finger like that and trying to push something that's way further from these muscles, then you're going to have to engage wrong muscles from here, and that's going to result in a little bit of tension. So here's a passage, pretty much the same that I played in the beginning. Starting on G, I have my arm here. On D, I'll move it about an inch out. On A, a little more. And sometimes from between A and E, there's almost no difference. Yeah. Now, one complaint that I get a lot is that, oh, well, when I'm bringing my arm in, it hurts. Possibly because you might be doing it wrong. See, I'll show it without the violin. Let's say you're on E string, imaginary violin here, yeah? And you're trying to get to the G string, and you are bringing your arm in a little bit. And here's how your movement goes. Well, that's going to hurt me too. Like right here on the back. It's terrible. Yeah. Why? Because you're moving your arm in and also forward a little bit, like out like that. That hurts. Now, the only advantage, well, it's not an advantage. The only thing that it gives you is when you move your elbow in and kind of forward out a little bit, you kind of keep this angle, of the forearm. Especially in the first position, there's always a bit of an angle, right? But then if your muscles if your biceps and triceps are twisted, if your back is hurting, you don't really care about this angle. Let this angle be a little bit bigger by bringing as you go from, this position to bringing your arm in. Let it be bigger by bringing your upper arm inwards a little bit, like you are taking like that, like afraid of something, afraid of the violin, afraid of Tchaikovsky, I don't know. There it is. This way, of course, you're compromising this angle. Now it'll be like 5% more difficult to drop the fingers down, only 5%, 6%, I don't know. Again, but definitely it's a good compromise. So the arm, as it comes inwards, also goes closer to you. Yeah, so you feel a little bit relaxation. You can actually then relax from here, and you won't have to feel that pain in your back or your shoulder or just hurt yourself doing it. That's the essence of it. Hope this was useful. Yep. And hope you'll use my suggestions. Hope you'll subscribe if you like the video and like the video. This is Henrik Karapetyan at Violin Outside the Box with Dr. K. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.